fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice.
So say it.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay, this.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. You see the topic. Basically, you can say Jamie Foxx using Kyrie Irving, and maybe you could throw Neo in here. But the issue with Jamie Foxx and making a statement, and all of a sudden, Jewish people come out saying it's anti-Semitism. And it made me think about Kyrie Irving as anti-Semitism. And it's like, you know, sometimes, in general, I think people have a fear of Jewish people's backlash, and Jewish people have a thing where they'll find something to be offended by and go on an all-out assault that basically in time looks like it's just an unwarranted attack, but people are afraid to respond to anything Jewish people do because it's considered anti-Semitism. And like this is a prime example of that, right? And in my opinion, and I might be biased when I say this, in my opinion, it looks like when it comes to black people or black Americans, they really, like, as a group, because since they own the word they, right? As a group, it seems like they just really go out of their way to try to, quote unquote, put us in our place. And I say that because normally when us black people hear something about Jewish people, it's from white people, which comes off weird to us because Jewish people and white are white people. It's just white people with a different religion or whatever. But it's usually white people, and the Jews run Hollywood, and the Jews do this, and the Jews own the banks, and the Jews that. It's like, and we're looking like, yeah, all right, man, whatever, whatever. And look at, and even the white folks will look at what the Jews are doing in Palestine, and it's like, y'all are funding that. Like, the U.S. government has been sending money for them to Israel every year for decades, and helping basically gentrify the Palestinians out of a land that they invited the quote-unquote Jewish people in. Like, hey, man, come on over here, man. We sorry about what happened in Germany, and then it just went left. And then I think about that old lady. She died years ago. She was an old lady who was like a White House correspondent. This is an old white lady. And I want to say she was in her 90s. And it was like she stopped caring about being politically correct. And even when it came to Jewish people, she was like, man, listen, y'all, that ain't even y'all homeland. Y'all ain't even from there. And what y'all doing to them people is wrong, and y'all pushing it to the level of what was done to y'all. So you're becoming hypocrites. But it was an old white lady, so it's like, oh, we're not going to go at her like that. But she had made a point. And the reason why I'm talking about it in the entertainment sense, because media, music, movies, television, is because that seems to be the people that they attack the most. If you're a prominent black person, I take that back, or a leader, you know, in the black community, somehow you're going to be anti-Semitic. Like even the thing with Farrakhan, he said anti-Semitic things, and it's like, at this point, do you actually know what he said? Because what he said was on tape, and what he said was on tape, and could be played to this day, but y'all never actually play it because it does, because it won't, the belief that he just was throwing you under the bus is bigger than the evidence that you actually have of him, quote unquote, throwing that group under the bus. And then I thought about the what do you call that? Like all the times black people have been offended by Jewish people in the media, you know, in all of these industries, and we just act like nothing happened. Like I remember when TMZ, when they had the thing, is it Harvey Levin, and when Justin Bieber was a teenager, he had made these racist videos, and Harvey Levin had them, but he wouldn't put them out because he didn't want to ruin the white kid's career. But when it came to black men or black teenagers, he was, well, we got to put it out there. So what? And it's like, that's the bias of, okay, oh, okay. Or, and that's why I brought up the Kyrie Irving thing and more so the Jamie Foxx thing, because that just came out of the blue. Like, just, you, guy wasn't even talking to or about, and you just popped up and said it, and now it's a fear, and that's why I use the clip with Will Smith. It's a fear. It's a fear of offending. Of like we're supposed to walk on eggshells, and like Jewish people are supposed to live rent free in our heads, and we're supposed to not say this and not say that. That has nothing to do with actual anti-Semitism, because a Jewish person might get offended and make it about anti-Semitism and plaster it all over the media, you know, because, you know. And what was the guy? Because there was a few people that did. What was the Jewish guy that Judd Apatow. That was the guy who basically did all that to get Bill Cosby locked up. Nothing ever happened to the guy. Bill Cosby had, you know, they had to, he went to jail. They had to, what do you call that? Had to appeal it. Won the appeal, wrongful conviction, and then the guy gets, whatever, you know. You have issues with, you know, Rahm and Ari Emanuel have had those moments of, you know, people said they were racist, but hey, it's okay, you know. And we're trying to figure out, like, how did you get offended? And at some point, it's like, oh, you're not. It comes off like, no, you're not really offended. This is just what is it? The gay community calls punching down. You know, since we're up here, we're gonna make since we're up here and you're down here, quote unquote. We're gonna make you scared to say or do anything because the fear of our imaginary of punishment. And it's like, and the thing about entertainers and celebrities, it's like, after they make so much money, they should be able to be like, man, I ain't even trying to hear that, dog. When nobody talking to y'all. And people are afraid of saying when nobody talking to y'all about y'all. Because what I've seen, that fear is problematic in the sense of when Jewish people are wrong, they don't apologize. They just ride out the story of being right. You know, and that's some white people do that because they're both white people, so it's nothing new. But it's like an extra boogeyman thing. And at a certain point, people are like, look, man, everybody else scared, whatever, man. You know, you're people just like everybody else. Y'all do good things like everybody else, and you do bad things like everybody else. We're not about to walk on eggshells about your bad things. You know, and this is the point where the fear of you know, that was cancel culture before cancel culture, basically. And it's hypocritical because of the things that their community does to other people, you know. So I don't get the fear, and I don't get why people in that community don't go, hey, no, my bad, you was wrong on that one. We kind of jumped the gun. Sorry about that. But no, it's just make a story, print it, make it out, run it. And it's like, this is, you know, sometimes that community has like a Third Reich approach to dealing with people, telling everybody else to never forget. And it's like, it's hypocritical, man. But and that's our fault as a society for being so scary, you know, because we're not trying to throw them under the bus, but at the same time, the bully tactics are just trifling. But like, share, subscribe, and try and catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.